Once upon a time, there was a boy named Jack. He lived in a small village near a big forest. The villagers were afraid of the forest because they believed strange and scary creatures lived inside. People said that no one who went into the forest came out the same. But Jack was different. He wasn't scared of the forest. Instead, he was curious and wanted to explore it. One sunny afternoon, Jack decided to go into the forest. He packed some bread, water, and an apple into a small bag and left. As soon as he stepped into the forest, he felt the air grow cool. The trees were very tall, and their branches blocked most of the sunlight. He could hear birds singing high above and leaves rustling in the wind. At first, Jack enjoyed his walk. The forest was beautiful. He saw green moss covering the ground, bright flowers in small patches of sunlight, and tall trees that seemed to reach the sky. He felt peaceful and excited to explore more. After a while, Jack noticed the trees growing closer together. The path he was following started to disappear. He had to push through bushes and branches to keep going. The forest was getting darker, and the air felt heavy. Jack stopped to catch his breath and realized something. He could no longer see the way back. Fear started to creep into his mind. Jack sat down on a rock to think. "I just need to stay calm," he said to himself. But when he looked around, everything looked the same. The trees surrounded him like walls, and the path he had been following was gone. Jack knew he needed to stay calm, so he took a deep breath and decided to keep walking. As Jack walked deeper into the forest, he suddenly heard a noise. It sounded like footsteps in the leaves. His heart raced. "Who's there?" Jack called out, but no one answered. After a moment, a young girl stepped out from behind a tree. She had long, dark hair and wore a cloak dress made of leaves. Jack was surprised, but also relieved to see another person. "Who are you?" Jack asked. "My name is Alara," the girl said. "I live in the forest." Jack was amazed. "You live here? Aren't you afraid of the creatures that people talk about?" Alara smiled and shook her head. "The forest is my home. The creatures are not as scary as people think. Most of them are just animals, and they won't harm you unless they are afraid." Jack felt better after hearing this. "I think I'm lost," he said. "Can you help me find my way back to the village?" Alara thought for a moment. "I can help you," she said, "but first, you need to help me with something." Jack was curious. "What do you need?" "There's a special flower that grows deep in the forest," Alara explained. "It only blooms at night, and its petals glow in the dark. I need this flower to make medicine for my sick brother. If you help me find it, I'll take you back to your village." Jack agreed, and the two set off together. As they walked, Alara showed Jack many things about the forest. She pointed out hidden paths, explained the songs of the birds, and showed him which plants were safe and which were dangerous. Jack was amazed. The forest, which once seemed scary, now felt like a magical place. After walking for a long time, they reached a small clearing in the forest. In the middle of the clearing was a single glowing flower. It was beautiful. Jack and Alara carefully picked the flower and put it in a small bag. "Thank you," Alara said. "Now I will help you find your way home." The journey back was quicker than Jack expected. Alara seemed to know every shortcut, and soon, they reached the edge of the forest. Jack could see his village in the distance. He turned to thank Alara, but she was already walking back into the forest. "Wait," Jack called after her. "Will I see you again?" Alara smiled and said, "Maybe, if you ever come back to the forest." With that, she disappeared among the trees, leaving Jack alone at the edge of the woods. But Jack didn't feel scared anymore. The forest didn't seem dangerous. Instead, it felt like a place full of wonder and beauty. Jack knew he would come back one day, but for now, he was happy to go home. As Jack walked back to the village, he thought about his adventure. He realized that sometimes the things we are afraid of are not as scary as we think. All it takes is a little bravery to explore the unknown. Jack smiled to himself, knowing he had discovered something special in the forest. The moral of the story is that helping others brings kindness and rewards in return.